to the Saturday edition of the Box Seat. I'm Adam McGrath and joined by Mark Olmos. Mark, only 7 races to take a look at here at Belmont Park. Some interesting weather again, but some really good fields.
Yeah, we had a beautiful day on Wednesday at Belmont, but this week we've got the idyllic Prince Stakes, which is formerly known as the Goodwood, and First Among Equals looks to be very, very hard to beat once again.
Let's get straight into it and take a look at the conditions that we are going to be faced with. Strong winds, rain. It's a usual Saturday at Belmont Park at the moment. The movable rail is out 6 metres. That has meant that horses have been able to run on nicely, so expecting a pretty good day of racing here. And we'll get straight into race number 1. It is these maidens that are worth $30,000. Big fields again, and it looks a pretty tight race to separate a fair few of them.
Absolutely. From conditions and weather, Adam, we could have just put on a repeat from the previous weeks, but into this first race, the $30,000 maiden, nobody missed the run of Lone Sailor last start. Let's have a look at it.
Las Vegas as well starts to pick up after being back in the field. Argyle Express, though, raced away from them, and down by the 250, shot 3 in front from Boom Boom Bang. Magic Las Vegas, the favourites, a shot duck. 150 left to go. Argyle Express, the leader. Boom Boom Bang keeps coming. Argyle Express off its feet. Boom Boom Bang, Magic Las Vegas, Lone Sailor. Argyle Express clinging on. Boom Boom Bang diving and nailed it. Boom Boom Bang in the last.
Good performance there by Lone Sailor on that occasion. Of course, the 5-year-old, which was having its first ever career start. Look, I've got on top for this race, but there's not a lot of confidence. I'm not entirely sure the form lines from that race. I'm not entirely sure how this horse is going to go dropping back from the 14 to the 13. The positives is, if there is a lot of rain, we know this horse is going to handle it. And he just seems to have a little bit of an X factor. I like the turn of foot, so I'm willing to have it on top in the race, but it wouldn't be one I'd be jumping into at any short odds.
Being a 5-year-old as well, it's got that strength factor to get through the going as well, Adam, so it should be considered a chance. Another one who was disappointing last start was Foxinator, in that maiden over there at Belmont as well, behind War God. Now, that was a $30,000 maiden as well. It was disappointing. It didn't really get as close to them as we thought, especially after the good run at Northern before that.
Yeah, I mentioned to you in the preview on that occasion, I thought that this horse needs all of the favour. He's jumped from barrier 13 on that occasion. It was a day that you wanted to be on speed, and we mentioned from the top, it just wasn't going to get there. It was held up on that occasion. Now, barrier 9, Jake Casey takes a ride. Conditions should suit more here. Should be able to just sit back, relax, and then attack the line strongly. The soft track record isn't great, 5 attempts for only that 1 second, but I think it can get through the going actually okay. And look, it's not. I don't know if it's a winning chance. I don't know if you can say it too confident about a horse that's had 16 starts, but I've certainly got it in my 4.
Another couple that we'll have a quick look at. Number 4, Pierian from the Brett Pope yard. Lucy Warwick rides. It was a good run at Pinjarra behind Foundry Court, also in soft conditions. Has to be one of the chances.
Another 5-year-old only had the 2 career starts. So one was back in 2014 when behind She's a Virtue. The last was at Pinjarra on the 18th of August. Now, it was a really nice run behind Foundry Court on that occasion. Molly Clark took the ride, so it was just the 55 kilos. This horse pulled throughout as well. It certainly was very fresh and ready to go. Lucy Warwick on board, I think, is a massive positive. I think the 1,300 metres is as well, and if the horse can get through the going, which we saw last start in a soft 7 it can, I think it's certainly one to have in your numbers as well.
The other intriguing runner having its first start, 4-year-old Golding by Fath from the Vaughan Sigley yard with the winkers on. Number 10, Luke's Golds, opened up a healthy quote around $13. The trial was really good in soft ground.
Loved the trial as well, as you mentioned. I thought it was really good. Even the one before that was beaten by Crown of Lights by a long way, but that horse the trial sensationally. The question mark here has to be the barrier with the 58 kilos. There's a lot to overcome on debut, but the horse seems to have plenty of upside for the race. I'm going to go with number 8, Lone Sailor in this race. From 1, Foxinator, 4, Pierian, and number 3, 303.
Hard to go past, but the rest is a raffle, isn't it? I've got the 8 on top, Lone Sailor as well. From the 4, Pierian, number 10 there, which is Luke's Gold, and the 15, Keep the Flame Alive.
Race number 2 at Belmont Park. It is a 72 plus event over the 1,400 metres. A few familiar horses going against each other here. Stocks, General Groove, Grey Enigma, Flying Raw, they've been going head to head. Then you're dropping Cougar Knights from Listed Company, and of course Max Almighty, which has been racing well.
Second up record for Cougar Knights is outstanding, isn't it? And Alan Matthews is 2 of the key contenders in this race. We'll have a look at the last start winner though, Max Almighty beating Patrimonio.
Tenterden's under pressure. Real Icons coming through in the centre. Bangalore, Tranquilla Sunrise still there. Then Crown Choice, and down the outside is Patrimonio starting to put in a run. Eurorumman's not in the race. Here's Patrimonio screaming down the outside with a brilliant run. Max Almighty goes with it though. It's Max Almighty, Patrimonio, Crown Choice, but Max Almighty. Max Almighty is...
It's a strong performance there by Max Almighty. This horse, as we mentioned, does have ability. It's just when it wants to bring it to the racetrack. It was a perfect ride by Jordan Turner. It's a replay you can could just watch over and over the way that he weaved through the field and attacked the line strongly. I think there's a couple of negatives here though. Stepping up in grade, it also steps up in weight now because it doesn't have the 2 kilo claim, and Jordan Turner's played his hand by staying with Flying Roar as well. Should get a really nice run from barrier 4, but I definitely do prefer his other runner in the race.
The other Alan Matthews runner, of course, which is Poonamoo. First up was just brilliant and so unlucky. Definitely should have won. I do have a query about these horses second up, those ones that dash really well first up. Could over 1,400 metres here, that sprint could be lost, and maybe next run, back him next run.
Small concern for mine, but I've got him on top. I think this horse is going to be very hard to beat. I just think it's a carnival horse. Everything you see about it just represents that. Hasn't had the luck or the success that you'd like to see, but hopefully that does turn. Couldn't have been any more unlucky first up. If you do go back and watch that replay, the horse is still trying to find its way out now, but from barrier 3, should get a nice enough run with a 54.5 kilos. There's good speed in the race. I think Poonamoo can be winning the race.
You willing to take the even money that it's opened up, Adam?
I wouldn't be taking $2, no.
Number 6, Flying Roar, as well, as we mentioned, last start winner. Beat Glitterbell by 2.3 lengths. Great to see this horse get a win as well. And as you mentioned, Geordie Turner sticks.
Nice ride last start by Geordie. Was just able to get out in the front, dictate terms, then kick away at the top of the straight. The conditions aren't going to suit Flying Roar as much as it wants. There's also some weight swings to take note of here. Stocks was only beaten 2.8 lengths, gets 2.5 kilos. And General Groover is beaten 4 lengths and gets a 3 kilo swing. I think they can certainly play a part in the race. Still got Flying Roar in my numbers, but not as confident it has been in recent runs. So I'm going to go with number 7, Poonamoo, on top. From 5, Cougar Knights, dropping from that listed company. 1, Stocks, and 6, Flying Roar.
Number 3 on top for me, Max Almighty. That win was all impressive last start. From the 6, Flying Roar. Number 7, Poonamoo, definitely worth having in the numbers. And number 1, Stocks.
Race number 3 at Belmont Park over the 2,200 metres, and like the previous race, many of these have been going head to head, so easy to analyse some of the recent runs and hopefully try and find a winner.
Absolutely. We go straight into the replay though, Adam. Number 1, Don't Get Caught, from the Ben Pierce yard. Ran second last start behind Material Man.
On the bend, just in front of Adello Blue, ready to fire, desperate for a run, trying to get up on the inside now. Then Savannah Roller, and down the outside is Material Man, ready to fire, gets through on the inside of Dust Me Off, but Material Man joined in quickly on the outside. Material Man hit the front, Don't Get Caught's running on, ready to fire, Dust Me Off, but Material Man is clear over the final stages from Don't Get Caught and ready to fire. Outstanding win.
There's a good run again there by Don't Get Caught, but we mentioned the stats going into this race and they're starting to build up now. 9 attempts at the track and has placed on 3 occasions, yet to win at Belmont Park. Continues to run on strongly, but just not able to get the job done. Beaten under a length by Vidello Blue 2 starts ago, then beaten 2 lengths by Material Man. Now, the blinkers come off here, so we did see this horse pulling quite a fair bit through the early stages as well. I think, again, it has to be a winning chance, but we talked about confidence. I just can't back it confidently with what we've been seeing at Belmont Park.
I'll throw one up at you. I've put it on top because I really liked the run last start. I found it at the big price of 50 to 1. Harlem Moon, it ran second on that occasion behind Fry, but you just know it's going to handle the conditions. It is a big step up in class, but at $26 that it's opened up, definitely willing to have a play there.
Yeah, I think you got the $8 a place on that occasion, and as you said, the conditions were the key. My big concern here is that carrying the 55 kilos, only a kilo less, in much better company. I mean, these horses are a completely different step up to Firebird, which hadn't won for 600 odd days. So although you know that she is going to get through it, and that is a massive tick, first run back up to 2,200 metres, much harder company. I've left her out, but I would not be surprised to see her run a really good race if the rain does come.
Number 7, Ready to Fire, from the Justin Warwick stable. Lucy Rides was 2.3 lengths behind Material Man last start. Just can't crack it for a win. He always looms as if he's going to win, but then another one just sticks on or goes past him.
Yeah, she's a nice type, isn't she? The way that she's just able to be so honest and put in those nice runs. I've gone with her for this race, a bit like the Mickey Two Toes and Gigante form. So in a field like this, when you look through them all, I just think she ticks the most boxes. I love that Lucy's getting back on board. From barrier 2, she'll get a really nice ride. Again, the more rain comes, the better. She's won on a soft track. She's placed on a heavy track as well. So for mine, it's not about confidence. Again, I don't think she's a standout, but she ticks more boxes than the others. So I'm going to put her on top here, number 7, Ready to Fire. From 1, Don't Get Caught. 4, Dust Me Off, and 2, Senso.
I've got the 8 on top there, Harlem Moon. From the 7, Ready to Fire. Number 9, Military Service in the wet, and 1, Don't Get Caught.
Race number 4 at Belmont Park. It is our big one of the day. It's the listed Idyllic Prince Stakes over the 1,300 metres. In-form galloper in first among equals in the race. Rock Magic, which we know will be booting down the door, trying to reverse the results. And then some handy types like Mr. Utopia and Red Aura in the field.
That's the thing. It's not that Rock Magic is out of form by any means. Keeps running into first among equals. Let's have a look at that run last start in the Belmont Newmarket.
Travanator kicked away by a length and a half. Trying hard, checkpoint. Rock Magic looms up. Under the whip, first among equals, but he's winding up with a good run. Travanator the leader. First among equals, closes him fast though. And then Rock Magic Magic, but first among equals. He's a very classy horse. He races to the front. Rock Magic tries to come back, but first among equals draws clear, and first among equals wins it nicely.
Another really good performance there by First Among Equals. I think a small concern the way this horse was again laying out at the top of the straight, and then when you just look at the replay, Loomed Up hit the front, was going to win by over a length with its eyes closed, and then just stopped. Rock Magic came back, and speaking to Paul Harvey after the race and Simon Miller as well, they both said that this horse has done that before, and they were a little bit concerned that once it hit the front, decided to switch off. Positive is there's still room for improvement there. It does go up in weight at another ½ kilo, but First Among Equals, I think, just picks itself in the race.
Yeah, the weight for age conditions certainly suit Rock Magic. It's only a little bit of weight that First Among Equals goes up, but gee, it was a good win last start because it looked like Rock Magic dropped him off at the straight and he just picked up and kept coming. First Among Equals, very tough performance. We also have in the race, number 1, It's a Him returns. First up can certainly surprise. I don't have it in my numbers, but as I said to you off air, I think it can certainly run a race.
Yeah, had a little bit of time off now. Well, the last run was the 25th of June, and it was a nice win in the Group 3 Strickland on that occasion over the 2,000 metres. That's a concern for me. 2,000 down to 1,300. Does this horse have the turn of foot to go with these type of gallopers? Has won on a soft track. That was that race there, as I said, that last start. So I wanted to put it in my numbers, but in the end, I just didn't have room.
Red Aura, number 7, was a little bit fat in the yard last start in the Bolton Stakes on that occasion, and should certainly be fitter here.
Yeah, they thought they had it ready to go, but they clearly didn't. They needed to increase the work. They've done that, and I think just out of respect, you have to have this horse in your numbers from what we've seen before. 2 from 2 on a soft track, 1 from 1 at the track and distance. Has been second up on 3 occasions, a victory in 2 seconds. William Pite taking the ride. There's enough there that you just go, let's just be careful and give it the credit that it deserves.
The target, of course, for that galloper Red Aura is the Hannon's Handicap at Kalgoorlie, so be interesting to see how it goes here, especially in the soft conditions. A race of a lot of unknowns. Just quickly, Adam, we'll touch on Mr. Utopia as well first up here.
Big bonus is the 59 kilos, as you said, the weight for age. Obviously, this horse has carried that in the Belmont Sprint and in the Hyperion as well, and is used to carrying a bit of weight. So these other types, the Bass Straits, checkpoints, proceed with caution, that have to go up and carry this type of weight. Mr. Utopia is used to that, and I think for that reason exactly, and a win on a soft track, you have to have it in your top 4. But I can't go past number 3, First Among Equals, from 2, Rock Magic, number 7, Red Aura, and 4, Mr. Utopia.
3 on top for me as well, Adam. First Among Equals, from the 2, Rock Magic, the Quinella again, number 4, Mr. Utopia, and the 7, Red Aura.
Quick,